Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Move this over a little. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me get this stream up on my phone. And we're gonna get to cooking. What is up? What is up? I have to mute myself. For the 7 of you on here right now, tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to know in the chat before we get this going. We're running it back. We're getting back to our regularly scheduled program. Dubai. Let's go. That's awesome. Calgary, Santa Barbara. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ray, the half marathon went great. I ran my best time. It was like the best run of my life. Lucas, my dog, welcome back. It was a great half marathon. My first 10 miles, I did it at a 7:31 pace, so it was pretty fire. I was proud of myself. All right, we're going to give it a little longer. I was on a little late, just fresh out the shower. Now, tonight I want to talk about instant manifestation, but I kind of want to evolve it, right? Like I've been going through some things in my own life, and I hope I can guide you guys to the information and the wisdom I'm coming upon. I love you too, bro. Soulful prosperity. Thanks for the love, my friend. You guys, I might have to change my shirt. It's kind of warm. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to change my shirt. All right. Back like we never left. All right, we're going to get this cooking. Going to respect your guys' time. For those of you that are here, tonight we're going to be talking about instant manifestation. Now, it's not going to be in the way that you think when you see the words instant manifestation, right? Now, I'm going to describe to you where instant manifestation actually happens, right? So what's actually instant is what I'm going to call internal activation. That's his like new look. Shave the facial hair a bit, you know. So internal activation is the concept that everything we're looking to get out of life starts within. Now, I want you guys to do me a favor. Every time I bring a concept up, we have to tie it back to being one with the flow of all things. Because that's what I'm trying to do in my own life. That's something that I'm working on. Yes, new markers too. 100%. I appreciate you best. So just know I want to tie this back to what I think is the most important truth. And for those of you that are here right now, one thing I'm kind of embarking on in my own life is finding peace in every stage, in every step of the way, right? It's so easy to have these huge goals, to want to do these huge numbers, to want our life to shift in a magnitude of ways. But that's putting the cart before the horse. right? That's putting the cart before the horse. Now, what actually needs to change? So this internal activation, all we need to focus on is the inner world, because the inner world is what manifests in the material. So this is what they mean when they say as within, so without. Why is this? For those of you watching right now, why would this be the thing that leads to manifestation? I'm curious. I got 24 of you here right now. I'd love to hear why. Let's see. See if you guys have been paying attention all this time. You guys, I'm taking the jewelry off. It just... We're going through internal transformation live on YouTube right now. It's just not the vibe right now, guys. I'm trying to be in my rawest form. I'm curious. I want it to go both ways tonight. I need some communication with the collective conscious while I got you guys here. Bess, I like that. Your frequency is what you frequently see. You know what, Bess? We're going to build off of that. We're going to build off of that. Thank you for your collaboration. So, as within, all right, this is your frequency. All right, this is our thoughts and emotions. Now, I'm also going to put perception right here. We're going to look at this through a multitude of lenses. And then right here, I'm going to put in parentheses. This is what we manifest, right? Or what we observe more of. What's up, P-Man? We're going to go frequently see, which is, this is the 3D, right? What we observe about our reality or the material. Now, one thing I've kind of been evolving in my own pursuit of meaning and my own understanding is that we have to transcend both of these things. Why would we transcend both of these things, ladies and gentlemen? Because the truth is, we are part of a grander source. We are part of a grander flow of energy connected to more divine harmony, right? So it's our ego that creates the illusion, and it's our ego that gets in the way of us experiencing peace and bliss and joy and love and gratitude, right? Those are natural states. When you really look at the blessing we've been given in life, we're kind of throwing our time away to be looking at all the negative things, right? Looking at what we lack, looking at what we need to change about the experience. Now, the beautiful thing is when we take our attention off of what we need to change and we look at what's so beautiful, right? The absolute truth of it all, we start to channel more of that frequency through our thoughts and emotions. So our perception is shifting. And when our perception is shifting, we are reprogramming our subconscious to find more of it. I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense right now. Drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense, ladies and gentlemen. Chloe's got it. Ray's got it. Best. Preston's got it. Sean's got it. This is one of the most core things to understand, right? I think even one of my limiting beliefs is like, oh my God, like people just want to know about manifestation. They just want to know about creating their desires, changing their life, tapping into the best version of themselves, which is great, right? That's great to have goals, to have dreams, to have desires, to be pulled towards this future version of yourself. But I'm even learning that the core foundation of it all and the mindset and the natural state of being that actually leads to creation is being one with the flow of the river, right? The goal is not to swim upstream. So your goal is to prioritize things through your inner world of perception that allows you to go with the flow, right? You have to find the good in all things. You have to find the harmony in all things, because then you're naturally swimming with the river. But if you're resisting and you're like, like I need to change life, look at all these negative things that are happening to me, then you're missing the point of it. Then you're going to be swimming upstream, and that's where you're going to feel the resistance, right? That's forcing life. When to be one with the harmony and to be in a higher elevated state is going to be more flow. It's going to be more power. Now, the foundation of the first thing we're talking about right now, right? This internal activation. What's the goal? What's the goal with this internal activation? Now, what Vadim Zeland from Reality Transurfing says is you have to reduce the importance and choose a new frame of being. So that's what we're going to kind of highlight right now. So we have part one. Reduce importance. All right, what this means is you need to be okay with or without the manifestation. All right, so we'll even put that right here. With or without. Now, if we look at this, with or without is non-dual. Remember what I said? The goal, even in this, is to overcome the duality of it, right? The goal is to overcome the, oh my God, I need to change. I need the material world to change, so I'm going to change the inner world. You're still kind of going back and forth, right? When we talk about effortless action, when we talk about effortless creation, what's really going down? When you are reducing the importance, you're one with the flow. You're in this natural state, right? That's an instant internal activation of alignment. This is the secret. Now, what goes on for part B, right? Now, I was listening to this podcast by Wayne Dyer, and he was referencing some poet or teacher, and I don't want to butcher his name, but I'm going to tell you what he said. When this guru was asked, like, what is real? What is real? He said, the only thing that is real is that is unchanging. So your new state of being needs to be in alignment with the unchanging. It was not Rumi. It was like Mahamdaya or something like that, something crazy like that. Yeah, Preston. So discipline, in other words, is devotion. It's sacrifice. It's surrender. It's you must die to yourself every day to be in this unchanging state, right? You need to let go of all things that are illusions, that are illusory. Now, what is this unchanging state? It's the flow. It's the one with the source. You are going with the stream. Because life is finding its way regardless. Consciousness is expanding at all times. We cannot control the orchestra of the cosmos. All we can control is our internal state. And your goal should really to be in a state of surrender. There is another thing in this podcast that Wayne Dyer was talking about. And he says, he was referencing like a Carl Jung quote. And what he was saying is, ever since I was born, it felt like I was called for this destiny. I was called for this purpose. I was called for this fate. Now, the truth is I had no control over this fate. It had control over me. Now, let's think about this in another way, right? If we are part of this unchanging, this natural flow, this state that is, then we are being pulled to a future because creation is already done, right? They say that time is an illusion, which means that everything exists at once. And that the creation itself has kind of had a plan, right? That's destiny. That's fate. Now you can rest in this knowing that you are on the path you need to be on. There's no need to force it. There's no need to change it because it is. All you have to do is get out of the way of it. Now, if this is making sense, if you understand that the internal activation is about reducing the importance, becoming non-dual, you're good with or without it because you know that you're in the flow of all things, and that's what yours is going to find you, which leads you to a state of unchanging, a natural state of being. I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. That was a big summary. Drop a 1 in the chat. Beth says, is it essentially incorporating detachment? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Stefano's got it. Jaya's got it. Sean's got it. All right. Now we're going to move on to an important one, guys. This is a really important one. All right. We're moving on to step 2. Ray says detach from ego and attach to the source. You don't even have to attach to the source. That's the secret, is because it's already there. It's already there. It's only the illusion of the ego that keeps us separate from it. All right, let me get 2 down. 2 is universal organizing power. All right, Sweets. You said, I have a question. I do this and get in the state, and then it'll be like my emotions will overflow, and the next day it'll go. Any tips? It's like the frequency going way above baseline. So I think your goal is just to realize that things change. Things are always ebbing and flowing, and your goal is to just naturally go with it. Like even when that state is fleeting from you, just be like, okay, that's fine. I'm where I need to be. Right? You are in the flow at all times. That's the secret. The source is always present. Right? When they talk about the quantum field, it's 99.99% energy. It's because it's no thing, it's everything. It's here at all times. So there's no need to like force it. Yeah, Preston, you got it. You Ben had it. It's unconditional surrender. It's unconditional surrender. It's saying no matter what life throws my way, I choose to surrender. Now, let's talk about this universal organizing power, and I've got a crazy story for you guys. I've got an absolutely crazy story. Sleet says, is getting a 6-pack possible in 24 hours? No. No. I mean, it depends. It depends how lean you are, but I'm going to have to say no. Getting the mindset of having a 6-pack in 24 hours is possible, but it'll take time for the physical world to catch up. That's the whole point of this video, is that step 1, that internal activation. If you decide that you're going to have a 6-pack and you do nothing but stay aligned with it, it will happen. It will happen. You can just let go and rest in faith because you're making the decisions to make that happen. All right. Drop a 2 in the chat if you guys are ready for a crazy story. I literally had this happen today, so this is fresh. Drop a 2 in the chat if you guys are ready for me to show you how the universal organizing power works. All right. So there's this thing called the bridge of incidence. Now, what is it? I'm just going to say the source finds ways to deliver your desires. All right, guys, this is where it gets crazy. I'm about to tell you this story right now. So I want you to think of the bridge of incidences as when you set an intention with that internal state of activation, which was point 1, right? Internal state of activation. You've done your job. You're embodying a new frequency that you want to show up in the physical world, right? This is what happened to me. I was in the gym earlier, right? My apartment complex has got a gym. I was working all day. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a quick lift in. And I was like, feeling a little stressed, feeling a little forceful today. I was like, you know what? I need to realign. So I threw on a Wayne Dyer podcast. I always listen to things like this when I'm in everyday life because it always kind of just keeps my head in the right mind state. Now, he was talking about he was put on this earth to write. He was put on this earth to speak. And I feel the same way. I love doing it. I love communicating. I love talking about these things. I love being with people, sharing this story. And I've always wanted to write a book, right? I think one day I'll eventually write a book. And for some reason, out of all things I could have thought of when it came to this book, I just thought of the first chapter, right? So I'm going to draw this out for you so you can see the bridge of incidents. So the first part of the bridge was the chapter. And the name that came to mind, I didn't even know what I was going to write about, but it was Man and His Search for Meaning. That's what I was just feeling like. I literally just had that idea implanted in my head. It was implanted in my head. Then I kid you not. After walking back from the gym, this is the bridge. This is the universal bridge. Wayne Dyer's talking how he's at this conference, right? And there's this guy that he loves. He had required readings when he was a professor, and it was a book by one of this guy. And this guy's name was Viktor Frankl. So I'm just going to put Frankl. And guess what the name of his book was? Guess what the name of this guy's book was? Man and His Search for Meaning. All right. Now, this is where it was getting a little crazy. This is where it's getting a little crazy. And I'm like, this idea came to my head because I just wanted to name a chapter of a potential book. I wanted to write that because that's the foundation of it all. That's the foundation of the question why. Why is man in pursuit of a search for meaning? And I'm listening to this podcast, and he's like, I was at this event, and Viktor Frankl, and then he wrote this book called Man in a Search for Meaning. You guys want to see where it gets really crazy? I go to my roommate, and she's in her room, and I'm like, Brent, you're not going to believe this crazy stuff just happened to me. And I was like, I was listening to this podcast. I had this idea for this book. And then in that podcast, the guy wrote the name of this book called Man in a Search for Meaning. And then she's like, that's my dad's favorite book. And I actually have it. I just finished reading it. She literally gave me the book. Ready? Where is it right now? Bruh. This is the bridge of incidences, and I experienced it today. I literally made a video about the bridge of incidents yesterday. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm getting chills thinking about it. The idea came across me and I was like, that's pretty crazy. I made a video about it. Then I have an idea to write a chapter called Man in the Search for Meaning. Then it comes up in the podcast. I'm like, maybe I should read this book. Then my roommate had the book and it was delivered to me. The universe literally brought this to me because I was on the path, because it was supposed to find me. I didn't have to do anything. It was more effortless than effortless. I don't know how to describe that. It was like the last thing I could have expected, and it was the last thing I ever needed or thought I wanted. And then it just came. This is the name of the book, Man's Search for Meaning. Best, we're about to find out. I'm going to have to read it. All right. There's a bookmark in here. Let's see if it has anything for us. We're going to keep that to myself. We're going to keep that to myself. But drop a 1 in the chat if that's pretty crazy. Drop a 1 in the chat if you understand the bridge of incidences now. It just happened to me today. It was pretty crazy. And I didn't have to do anything. You guys, I was in like a rougher headspace today. I got everything I needed done, but I was just feeling out of it, right? I was doing everything I needed to do, but I wasn't like prioritizing like my spirituality, my faith, just keeping myself in my state of being, right? I wasn't prioritizing that. And as soon as I made the shift, as soon as I made the decision, it all changed. I had the internal activation, the phase 1 that I was talking about, the internal activation. I just put on a podcast because I wanted to reconnect. I wanted to get back into the flow of all things. And as soon as I did that, the bridge of incidences unfolded. It's crazy. Beth said bro's gatekeeping from his own plan. No, I just didn't read it all the way through. Nothing stood out to me, so I just didn't want to dive deep and have to look for something. It wasn't flowing, so we didn't need to pull it out. Now, what Vadim Zeland says this is external intention works through you, not from you. Because I opened up that clear channel and had no expectation and was like, I'm here out of the pureness of my heart because I need this in my own life. I created a pure source for that to come to fruition. Yes, Charles, Vadim Zeland, reality transurfing. Now, this is a perfect segue to step 3, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to drop a 3 in the chat if this is all making sense, if you're understanding the power of instant manifestation now. If you guys understand that all you have to do is get that internal activation and then the bridge of incidences unfolds for you, drop a 3 in the chat. Drop a 3 in the chat. You guys, it's literally magic. I'm even standing here like, damn, like the proof is in the pudding. It's showing up for myself. It's showing up for me. All right, 3. We're going embodied. Certainty. All right, we're going to keep this rolling. Now, for the 50 of you here right now, I want you to do me a favor. If you want me to help you unlock this state of consciousness, like if you're just tired of consuming the teachings, you're tired of feeling like life is happening to you, and you're ready to take back power, you're ready to unlock your ability to create and manifest on command, like I'm literally just showing you. It happened to me in the last 24 hours. Once you just set the proper dominoes in effect, it happens. If you want to do that with me, I want you to click the link I have pinned in the chat. It will also be in the description. Click that link, and I want you to book a call with me because I'm taking on applications for Ascension Workshop 2. Ray's in the chat, Jeff's in the chat. I don't know how many of the other Ascension members are in the chat. But if you want to be a part of that, click the link and book a call. And if it's not a fit, it's not a fit, but you'll get a 15-minute little one-on-one session with me regardless. So if that sounds like it interests you, we got Josh in the chat. We got 3 people from Ascension in the chat right now. You guys, was it a good experience? Should they at least book a call with me to see if they would be a good fit? Randy, donations on command. You're blessing me, brother. You're blessing me. Listen, worst case, this could be part of your bridge of incidents. Think about it. If you just randomly discover me, oh, we got Kia in the chat too. We got 4 of the Ascension members right now. All right, for the 4 of you that were in the Ascension Workshop 1, should they at least book a call with me to see if they'd enjoy it? Ray, you guys, I promise you, you'd love it. Hey, we got Lucas. Lucas is already on board. You guys, the proof is in the pudding. If you are actually serious about seeing transformation and unlocking this, Charles says it's a 5-day course. It's a 5-day hybrid live experience. So you'll get to work with me in a setting like this for 5 days to unlock transformation. We'll go through subconscious reprogramming exercises. We'll go through workbooks and trainings. We'll go through meditations, and we'll do implementation live calls, and you'll be part of a community. So just at least click the link if this interests you and you want to be a part of something like this. It's starting next Monday, April 21st. Now, if you can't show up to the calls, there's recordings, right? 80% of the work is not done in a live setting. You have to be in a walking state of meditation. Kia says the momentum is still rolling. If you're feeling that internal nudge to join, then you're in alignment. Exactly. I can't force you guys to do anything. It's part of your bridge of incidences if you can feel the alignment and you can feel the calling. But we're going to talk about the embodied certainty now. That's my quick little halftime alley-oop. And if you guys stick around, and if you guys are actually serious about doing it, we'll talk about it for the last 30 minutes of the live stream. All right, embodied certainty. So this is where you'll have a stack of synchronicities. This is where you'll have a stack of synchronicities, right? So it's like the bridge of incidences, but it's essentially confirmation. Now, there's 2 things you need to do from this state. The first one is going to be remain in alignment. Don't look external is point 2, right? So you need to remain in alignment because you just had certainty show up in your life. Me, for example, I made the internal activation, step 1. I said, I don't know what it is, God, but I'm tired of feeling like I'm in this state of force and resistance. I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I put on that podcast and I just say, whatever it's going to take to get me reconnected to the source. Whatever it's going to take to get me reconnected to the state of instant manifestation, I'm going to do it. As soon as I did that, it unlocked step 2, which was the bridge of incidents. It was the bridge of incidents. I had this nudge from the universe, like, hey, I want to write a book, and the first chapter is going to be called Man and His Search for Meaning. In the podcast, 10 minutes later, Wayne Dyer saying, I met one of the most transformational people in my life, and it was a guy named Viktor Frankl that wrote the book, Man and His Search for Meaning. Then I go home and I tell my roommate, she's in her room, and I'm like, Bryn, the craziest stuff just happened to me. I just had this idea planned into my head, and then they mentioned it in the podcast, and she's like, that was my dad's favorite book, and I just finished reading it. And I actually have it here in my room, so you can have it and you can read it. The universe unlocked the bridge of incidences to bring me something that I instantly manifested. Now I have to read this. This is my chance for embodied certainty. Just because something happened doesn't mean that I can just let off the gas and call time out. This is the universe saying, Grant, this is what you asked for. Are you going to do what it takes to remain in alignment? Boom. Step 1. Step 2, don't look external. So I'm not going to go external and look for the answers anymore. I'm not going to stress out about how many views my videos get. I'm not going to stress out about how many people book calls or want to be a part of the workshop. I can't control that. All I can control is the controllables. You guys, I'm showing you in real time this works. Call me Houdini if you think it's magic, but this happened to me today. These are the steps, and I'm literally showing you. I actually made a video about this yesterday before any of this happened. And because I made that video, yes, Jeff, I didn't expect the outcome. I didn't even know I needed it. I didn't even know I needed this book in my life. And I still don't know why yet, but that's not for me to answer. I don't need to know how. I don't need to know why. All I need to do is be in that state of peace. And it's a feeling. There is no logic that can get you there. There's no logic that can get you there. That's why I host something like the Ascension Workshop, because there is no amount of YouTube videos you could consume that will do the transformation compared to actually putting yourself in a state of flow and harmony. And that's how we designed the workshop. Because transformation is effortless when you understand the steps. Now, you can rest confidently in the fact that you are embodying the frequency. I can rest confidently in the fact that I started to embody the frequency and do the things that kept Grant at peace. And when I do this, I'm attracting more of that frequency to my reality because it's coming through me and I'm emitting it. And life is reflecting that back to me, right? The internal world shifted. I activated something internally. Yes, Jeff, you put the channel out to the universe. It just came out. Yes, Sleeps, you said, so how do you remain in alignment? Controlling thoughts and emotions. You don't necessarily need to control it. You just need to surrender things that make you feel out of alignment. So if you have a mindset where it's like, Sleeps, you're never going to have a six-pack. That's not going to do you any good. You have to surrender that thought. You have to let go of it. As soon as you let go of it, you make room for Sleeps. You're going to get a six-pack. You see how that process goes? All right. We're moving on to point 4, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a 4 if you are ready. Drop a 4 in the chat if you are ready to have your mind blown. Yes, Jeff, it's all about self-discipline. Right? How is the universe going to submit to you if you can't even submit to yourself? All right, this is where reality becomes a feedback loop, right? So the more continuously you have embodied certainty, the more consistently reality is going to show you feedback, right? But there's just something I want to iterate before this. Now, I'm going to talk you guys through this metaphor, okay? So this is going to be the world of manifest, right? world of the 3D. This is going to be your internal state. I'm just going to put the internal act, but it's your internal activation, right? This is what you give energetically, and this is what you get. Now, what does everyone focus on? Everyone that's in this space that consumes this content is focused on receiving. They want to receive something, right? This is the realm of effect. So actually, if it's the effect, it's part 2 of the equation. But Grant, what is part 1? What is part 1? We need a cause. This is part 1. So you actually need to give something. Why do you think I had step 1 be internal activation? My sheer act of deciding that I no longer wanted to experience resistance, I said, I surrender this. I'm getting back to the things that I know are good for me. I'm listening to this Wayne Dyer podcast. I gave that energy to the universe. I opened up that channel that I wanted to experience that. This is me right here, choosing that feeling. And then immediately, I experienced manifestation. I actually experienced instant manifestation. I kid you not, I could not have planned this. I could not have planned this. I literally made this video last night. If you're on the live, go watch the video on my YouTube channel. It's the most recent one. I made this last night. And I talk about this 5-step process, whatever. I experienced this exact thing and I had no expectation or no idea it was going to happen. So I'm even kind of shocked with you guys. But I received something. I got something in return. I got the idea for a chapter in a book, Man in His Search for Meaning. And I got confirmation, right, that I had embodied certainty. And then my roommate gave me the book. That's crazy. But it all started because I gave the energy. I changed the internal state first. All right. There's not enough 4s in the chat. Drop a 4 in the chat if this is making sense. Drop a 4 in the chat if you guys are understanding the 5-step process to instant manifestation. Boom. Come on. I know you guys are watching. There's 48 of you here right now. Let's get the community bumping. It's a Monday. That's cool. But we're all here. We're getting better. Jeff is like, did you feel out of alignment? Yeah. The last few days I felt out of alignment. And I was like, I can't force that. I can't resist that. All I can do is just surrender it and just get back to the things that I know are good for me. I had to push that first domino. Ladies and gentlemen. And that was the internal activation. And as soon as I pushed that, the energy loop started and I manifested what I wanted to. You guys, it's that powerful. It's that powerful. All right, now let's move on to point 5. We're gonna move on to point 5, and I'm gonna do a little chat sesh with you guys in the chat. Sleep says, quick question. What if the energy and awareness is conditioned to go to places you don't want? Well, that's called being unconscious. You are letting the realm of effect happen to you when you're actually the one in control. So when you find yourself going to a place you don't want to go, you have to surrender it. You just have to say, I let this go. I do not want this to be the state that I observe right now. You don't have to resist the emotion. You just let it be. And when you just let it be, it will naturally dissolve at its own pace. You don't have to do anything. Just like a wave crashes out the shore and it returns to the sea. That's like an emotion. You don't control the ocean and the waves. You just got to let it be. You just got to go with the tides. And then the more consistently you surrender that, the more consistently you'll be able to choose the input because you're no longer in an unconscious state. And when you're no longer in an unconscious state, that's what leads us to point 5, ladies and gentlemen. If you made it with me this far, exactly. What they say, Sleets, is what you resist persists. That's what they say. What you resist persists. And as soon as you can surrender that unconscious state, you step into the conscious creator flow. Would you say that loop is happening whether you're intentionally trying to control it or not? I would say it is. Yes, it's always happening. It just depends if you're aware of it or not. Right? That's why we have unconscious and conscious creation. Now, the ultimate evolution of it is really we got no control at all. Right? We have the illusion of control, which is why I always put this reminder for myself up here. One with the flow of all things. When I experienced that instant manifestation, I didn't control it. I literally had no idea any of that was going to happen. That's why Carl Jung has the quote where it's like, fate had control over me, I didn't have control over my fate. That's because we're part of this divine orchestra, right? The universe, the one song, we're all a part of it, and it's all moving, right? One thing Neville Goddard says is, when you have that internal state of activation and that bridge of incidents begins to form, you only just have to walk across it. When you go on a bridge, you have one goal. You can turn back, but that's not what you want to do. You just want to keep going. And if it takes 1,000 people to bring your manifestation to you, those 1,000 people will be set in motion. Exactly, Charles. Separation is an illusion. All created by the ego, the fear of the mind, right? Now, this conscious creator flow, we're going to look at it through 5 different lenses. We're going to bring it on home. Jeff says, Neville used many different processes to hold the state, though. No. That's the egoic mind trying to place a label on what happened. Like, those things happened, whether he annotated it or not, or whether he described those processes or not. So that's why they say being precedes knowing. Those processes is us trying to know, us trying to understand, us trying to place a label on. But that state of being, that natural creation, the one with the flow of all things that is going on at all times, was there before that. So that's what I'd have to say. That's what I would have to say. W's in the chat. All right. Conscious creator flow. First, we're going to break this down in 5 different ways, ladies and gentlemen. So we have the Tao, which is the art of non-doing. 2, this is Abraham Hicks. You guys, these are all describing the same states. So this can be a high vibration, which is just harmony. 3, power doesn't push, it attracts. So power does not push, it attracts. And then the last one, you become a vibrational match to a new timeline. You guys, I'm reflecting on this in real time with you, but when I made the conscious decision to listen to that podcast in the gym, I changed my vibrational signature. I didn't know why I was doing it. I didn't expect anything to change. I just internally activated the fact that I needed my state to change to return to the harmony that I know is. And then I stepped into a state of non-doing. I was like, I don't need to force anything. I'm just going to enjoy everything that's going on right now. My mind was still. There was no thoughts in my head when I was listening to that podcast. I was merely present. That high vibration was harmony. Right? That pure state of energy is harmony. It's one with what is. I was entered in a state of power. I was no longer pushing. I was no longer forcing my experience, which attracted that experience to me. I created a notes section of my phone. This might be a piece of advice for you guys. And I just called it the bridge of incidences. So it's synchronicities, bridge of incidences, whatever it is. Just take notes of these little things that happen to you so you can build your embodied certainty. T. Parks, magnetism seeks to harmonize. Exactly. T. Parks, SDSU, baby. Let's go. San Diego Ret. San Diego Ret. So let's kind of build off of what Mrs. Park says, right? When you magnetize, it seeks to harmonize. What does she mean by that? Your electromagnetic signature is your vibrational match to a reality you experience, right? You're attracting it to you at all times. So regardless of what signature you're holding, the source of it all is going to take note of that signature and aim to harmonize it with the frequency, right? It like attracts like. That's why all you need to do is an internal activation, because if all you do is change your state of internal activation, then you're changing your vibrational match to the reality you want to experience. I want you to drop a 5 in the chat if this is making sense, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a 5 in the chat if this is making sense. Jeff, the last piece of information you need is the state is natural. Like, you actually need to change nothing. That's what I want to tell you right now. Once you realize that you are in harmony and that you're the one telling yourself right now that I'm not in the state, so how do I hold it? Right? That's the perception of your awareness that you're holding right now. When the truth is if everything's 99.9% energy, infinite potential at all times, pure nothingness, which means we're actually in the frequency of every potential at all times if we can just place our awareness on it. And all we need to do is just surrender to get to that state. Exactly. Samuel says, trying to be in the state and worrying about being it can put me out of it. That's exactly what happens. I'll draw it right now. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to describe this to you right now. All right, I want you guys to think. This is the quantum field. With the quantum field, which equals 99.9% energy. Now, I also want you guys to think of this as awareness. Right? So this is going to be your internal state. Right? If we have to change the internal world to see a shift in the outer world, what are we doing? This is why they say we have to condition the I am consciousness. We have to condition the I am consciousness. So when you are aiming to change your embodied frequency, if your goal is abundance and you're saying, hey, I want to experience abundance, we're going to put A for abundance. You're placing your focus on abundance. But you place your focus on abundance by being grateful for things, by looking at what you have. But as soon as you collapse the mindset, am I in this state? You create a gap between you and the state you want to experience. You're subconsciously signaling to yourself that you're not in the state because you placed your awareness on the fact to question whether you're abundant or not, you created this gap in the electromagnetic signature. Alyssa says, been trying to force a state for months, but just being and then letting go still hasn't happened yet or seen any movement. Makes me feel delusional. You said, I've been trying to force a state. You can't force it. It is the death of illusion. You guys, if you can't change the state, it's because you're looking to validate something you need to validate internally with an external experience. There is no Lamborghini or amount of money that will be able to patch a black hole that you have to fill with love yourself. Right? You have to realize that I am abundant at all times. You are abundant at all times. You're connected to the source of infinite potential. Yes, Mrs. Park. She says, be in the state by reducing the importance of all things. When you reduce the importance of all things, you're saying, I don't need anything about my external experience to change because I understand that everything I'm looking for is an internal thing. If you say, I am A, and you just look for things to be grateful for, but if you question that you're not in the state, you're actually signaling B. You're saying, am I not in the state? Then you're just creating that gap. But that gap is an illusion that you just created in your own head. Yes, Monet, I'm good with it and I'm good without it. This is the final thing. This is the final piece everyone's missing, is surrendering in the act of letting go. If I constantly self-sabotage and have ups and downs in terms of being my desired self, how do I stay consistent and overcome the self-sabotage? You have to start in the moment. All it takes is for you to push one domino. I know the subconscious reprogramming can be strong, but you need one win. You need to prove to yourself in one way that you change your experience. Once you do that, you can change. So if you're not abundant and you want to be abundant, you need to think and feel that you already are abundant. But by thinking you want to be abundant, you're attracting more of the state of want. Okay, yes. We took a long route to get there. But if you're saying, I want to be abundant, you're subconsciously signaling to yourself that you're not abundant. Now, what is abundance? Abundance is having blessings in life, right? If we have blessings in life, it can be small things. In my 5-day workshop, I'm going to give you guys a freaking thing right now. All right, ready? I got 58 of you here in the chat right now. Drop a 1 in the chat if you want me to give you an exercise that will immediately put you in a state of abundance. Drop a 1 in the chat right now and we'll do it all together. I want to see. I can show you guys how I can change your state instantly right now. You guys, we're so back. We're so back. If you're here watching, I just want to take this moment to express my gratitude. There's nothing else I would want to be doing with my life than sharing this space with you all. So that comes from the sincerity of my heart. All right. I got all the sappy stuff out of the way. I want everyone watching right now. I'm calling on the collective right now. We're pulling a collective state of consciousness to change the state right now. Give me 1 or 2 things you're grateful for. Give me 1 or 2 things you're grateful for in the chat right now. Tell me right now what you're grateful for. It can be anything. Anything. And the smaller, the better. I'm going to let you know, the smaller, the better. We got my family and my health. Grateful for my family, my business, my health. Breathing on my own. My cats. The nice weather today. My health and my husband. To see, hear, smell, water. My family and this incredible planet. The ability to walk. You guys see how you're answering all the same things and you're in separate parts of the world? Look it, you guys are making the freaking, you see the goosebumps? You guys are answering the same things. You guys just all energetically shifted and I felt it. I was like, whoa. Look at what you actually want. Look at the thing that actually makes you feel abundant. That's what abundance is. It's being grateful for what you have because you are placing your awareness on what you have. You are grateful for what you have. You guys are all answering the same things. You're saying, I'm grateful for food, water, my ability to smell, my ability to hear, my ability to see, my family. You guys see that you already have what you were looking for. The more consistently you fill your awareness with that realization, every other thing the universe gives you will be a blessing. Because you are not expecting $1 million, because you are not expecting gifts from strangers, because you're not expecting, you're going to start attracting those things to you because you're vibrating in a state. You guys literally changed my state by all answering the same thing. My energy literally changed watching you guys do that. It was crazy. Samuel says, being alive is the most abundant thing I can think of. And apparently everyone else was thinking the same thing. All right. Are you guys ready to have your mind blown? All right. We got 65 of you here. We're going to get cooking. Sleet says, what about expecting good outcomes? You don't have to expect a good outcome when you place your awareness on the fact that you already have good outcomes. Look at what everyone just lifted in the chat or listed in the chat. That is a good outcome. All right. We're going to stitch a few things together right now. All right, guys. The source of our material experience, everything you can see, touch, feel, is 99.9% energy. So all those things you just described that you're grateful for is life itself. If we look at the spectrum of energy, the Tao is the highest frequency in the universe. And the Tao is the 99.9% pure energy, which is this, which is the state of ultimate abundance. So this state right here is infinite potential. This is the realm which you manifest all things from. And guess what you guys all just said? You said, I'm grateful for life itself. You guys, you just placed your attention on the state. You guys just touched heaven. You guys just touched heaven by being grateful. Drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense. You see how you said all the simple things that you already have that came from this 99.99% infinite potential. All of you guys answered the same thing. The collective conscious knows. You guys know in your heart. You guys, this is how powerful that is. Think about it. This is an internal activation. All right, we're going to build upon this. I need you guys all to stay with me here. It's going to come full circle. All right, bear with me. Bear with me. Everyone, focus. I need your attention right now. We're going to enter flow state. Bear with me. It's coming through me. Just know when I go silent, it's a good sign. All right, we're not even going to focus on the other realms. We're going to keep it in heaven right now. We're going to keep it in heaven right now. Because you guys just experienced, I don't got big enough hands to do that. You said grateful for life itself. This is what you guys all said to me. This is what you guys all said to me. You said, I'm grateful for the life itself. What is life itself? The natural, unchanging thing. Unchanging source. The 99.9% energy. You guys just said, I'm grateful for the act of being alive. I really wish, I pray that you guys know what you are doing with this. You are signaling the highest internal state of consciousness through something like that. The highest internal state of consciousness, which manifests in the 3D world. You guys were seeking the kingdom of heaven within. You shifted. Reality changes when you shift your perception. You shifted your perception to a state of heaven. You're saying, I already have everything. I'm already blessed. As soon as you guys did that, you did the inner activation. Then the universe is going to do everything. You don't have to do anything. Remember that source of energy, that infinite loop? The bridge of incidences takes over and gives you the material experience. And it's why this book ended up with me today. All right. Drop a 6 in the chat if this is making sense. Drop a 6 in the chat if this is making sense, ladies and gentlemen. I need to know. Drop a 5.5 if you need me to stitch it together. No soldier left behind. Come on, there's more of you. There's more of you. There's more of you. There's 56 of you here right now. I need to see more 6s in the chat. All right, Cliff says 5.5. All right. I'll do a full summary right now. The instant state of manifestation is when we change our internal state of perception, right? That's why they say, as within, so without. Now, it is not your job to worry about what happens in the physical world because that is the realm of effect. All you need to do is channel an internal frequency that will bring more of this to you. I know Kia's cooking right now. I just read the first sentence. She said, it's the feeling. People might think they want a car, money, partner, but it's the feeling of how they think it might feel once they have it. So start feeling it now. I'm telling you guys, I feel like the richest man alive when I have that moment where I ask what you're all grateful for, and you guys all start saying the same thing. Like, that is magic to me. The feeling is surreal. I'm not going to find that in a dollar amount. I'm not going to find that in a sports car. Right? That is all a fake egoic status. That is a fake egoic status. I get the feeling of the connection to life itself by being here with you all. I am in this state. Jeff said it earlier. He said, create the channel. You guys, I become the channel between the highest state of information and what will genuinely change your guys' lives. It has nothing to do with Grant. This has nothing to do with Grant. Mrs. Parks, welcome to the community. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The community is always vibing like this. The community is always vibing like this. We are on the same waves right now, guys. Oh, guys, look at what time the stream is at. 1 hour and 11 minutes. 1 hour and 11 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the state at all times. And I promise you, when you hear, this is the goal. All roads lead back to the source. Sleet says, so how does the ego intervene? Do we remove it completely? It's going to do anything in its power to convince you that it's not the answer, to keep itself alive. Because to access this state must be the death of the ego. That's where I said, in these moments, I fully surrender Grant. If I let my fears get in the way, I would never be able to show up for you guys like this. If you guys want more of this in your life, this is merely an offering. This is coming from a place of love, a place of service. I want you to click the link that is pinned. I pinned it. It says apply for the 5-day Ascension workshop. I promise you, it is this live stream on steroids. And the people that have been there, I know Kia's here, I know Josh is here, I know Jeff is here, I know Ray's here. They can confirm right now it is this on steroids. We pull a collective group of 20 people that actually want transformation, and we enter the state for 5 days. It is the craziest thing. I want that for you guys. So if you guys are even considering it, if you feel an inkling, a source of calling, you feel that bridge of incidence is forming, do me a favor and click the link. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. You'll book a call with me. We're just going to chat. It's an application, right? I'm only taking on a certain group of people because I understand the power of the community. I understand the power of having good people there. And worst case scenario, if it's not for you, you get a 15-minute little quick one-on-one session with me and you can ask me anything. I'm here to give. I'm here to serve. Josh, Kia, Ray, Jeff, if you're still watching this, should they at least book a call? Should they at least book a call to see what it's about if they're considering it? Serious question. Serious question. I literally put the link in there again. I got to make sure it's in the description. But I promise you guys, it is a transformational experience. I would love to have you guys be a part of Ascension Workshop 2. It's kicking off next Monday, April 21st. If you guys want to feel that love, if you want to feel that transformation, if you want to enter the states of creation and actually experience the momentum to get the first domino falling to become the new best version of you, that is what that was designed to do, and it has nothing to do with me. I give myself up in pure service for 5 days to make sure you come out who you want to be on the other side of that 5 days. You guys, this is all coming from a place of love. I can feel it right now. And I hope you can feel it too. It's an amazing space, and I want to dedicate my life to this. So whether you're part of Ascension Workshop 2 or you're part of Ascension Workshop 100, I promise you, this is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing. Exactly, Ray. Go from the competitive to the creative place. This weekend, I found myself in the egoic competitive place. Right now, by the grace of God, I am back in the creative place, in the peace, in the source. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the whiteboard session. We're going to do a little Q&A right now. I got some extra time. We'll carry this out to an hour and 15 minutes. Let me get my chair. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it going. All right, how was that live stream, guys? Did you guys enjoy it? Ray, take care of yourself. Ray, take care of yourself, my friend. Let's chat. You guys got any questions? Huh? You're welcome, Jaya. You can only eat one thing for the rest of your life. What would it be? That's a great question. That's a great question. I appreciate you, Stefano. Take care of yourself. Spencer, I'll have to think about that. Mexican food, for sure. Just being from Southern California, just amazing. Samuel, I'm glad you're finding a great place to be in. We're going to be here, guys. We're back to our regularly scheduled program. I made a commitment. I'd be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's what you're going to get from me. That's what you're going to get from me. Also, you guys, I would highly recommend you check out my most recent YouTube video. An 8x4 whiteboard. Is that like a way bigger one? I don't know if I would love to have a bigger one, but it just would take up a lot of space. I'm trying to balance it and not make my entire life and existence about the work. Spencer says, what made you focus on this avenue of spirituality? Well, I would say that there are no separate avenues of spirituality. They're all talking about the same thing. But I would say it's the only worthy pursuit in life. And it's not even a pursuit, it's a remembrance. It's out of all potential ways life could go, it's just about reconnecting to the fact that we are where we need to be, that we're in the flow, we're in the harmony. Kia says, the 5-day workshop is focused energy. If you are ready to act and show up for yourself, she recommends you do it. You guys, I'm serious. There's 48 of you here right now. I would at least consider you just book a call and see what it's about. At least click the link and see if it's something you want to do. The transformation is crazy. If you just go watch a few of the testimonials, they are not paid actors. Like, that is a real raw experience. That is a real raw reflecting of what went down in that workshop. Soulful Prosperity says, I'm watching you from Morocco and it's 3 a.m. now, but it's worth it. That means a lot, my friend. Can you recommend books or authors? I recommend you check out Wayne Dyer and Dr. David R. Hawkins. Those two guys gave me entirely new insight and perspective into life. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow says, is this workshop exclusively in person? So it's like a hybrid live event. So actually 80% of the things you do, right? The subconscious reprogramming exercises, the workbooks, the meditations or the walking meditations, as I call them, is what you do in your everyday life. What I tell people is like, I do not want you to uproot your life for this experience. The goal is to unlock these tools to use in your current reality to change it. Um, we're only going live at 6:30 p.m. PST. So just like you guys watched the live stream tonight, we're going to be doing that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the 5-day workshop. And it'll be like the implementation session. So all those things you do throughout the day are going to be your opportunity to just practice what we preach type thing. Cliff Brock says, is the 5-day program focused on manifestation or something else? So it's focused on becoming the version of you that can unlock the transformation you desire in life. So it's a different variant of manifestation. It's a different variant of manifestation, but yes. Tamara, does that answer your question? What is up, Trevor? I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But yeah, Cliff, the workshop like is really just about, all right, this is what goes on in the 5 days. So a lot of the people that come to the workshop tomorrow, it's like a wide spectrum of people, but a lot of them are entrepreneurs or like people that want a certain type of transformation. A lot of people are internet marketers, they're entrepreneurs, they run their own jeweler businesses, or they're content creators that are artists on social media. Like that was like a trend of it, but we also had people that also just wanted more from their life. They wanted to overcome limiting beliefs, they wanted to overcome self-doubts, they wanted to unlock a new version of themselves, the best version of themselves. So it's not for a specific archetype, it's just for people that actually want transformation and to become a new version of themselves. And I'm blessed that I get to do it every time because I can set out on that 5 days and always aim to be a better version of Grant after it. So I get lucky that it's my job. Yeah, Cliff, you're welcome 100%. It has nothing to do with your employment. Josh says part of the workshop you have to do 100 push-ups. No, we just made Josh do push-ups. As we just were like, drop and give me 100. But yeah, Cliff, it really has nothing to do with employment. I just noticed like a trend of a certain type of person that's attracted to this type of teaching. But it's really all people that just want more for their life, you know? It's people who are tired of being stuck in subconscious programs. Like, for example, a guy in the workshop named Mike, he was like, I was experiencing 5 years of doubts, limiting beliefs. I was stuck in the same place for 5 years. And we helped him break through those things and kind of regain his inspiration for the path he wanted to take as an entrepreneur, or in work, as I should say. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? We're coming up here on an hour and 24 minutes. Tonight was a great live stream. I had a great time. I'm glad everyone showed out. We got, what are some recommendations for breaking old limiting beliefs and being stuck in the same old patterns? Now, what I would, all right, I'll tell you the 5 steps, and this is what the 5-day ascension workshop is about. So The first step, or day one, is all about identifying the version of yourself you no longer want to be, right? That old you. We need to become aware of what we don't want to experience, because when we know what we don't want, we'll have a better way for aligning with what we do want. Day two is all about surrendering and letting go. As that old version of ourselves, as our subconscious reprogramming fights back, we need to figure out tools to let go so we can maintain long-term transformation. Step three is all about stepping into the present moment. In the present moment, you have all your power and energy to create. When you have all of your energy and power to create, that leads us into step four, which is moving into a state of conscious creation, which is how do we use our North Star and the version of ourselves we want to become, and how do we stay in alignment with that more consistently. And then day five is achieving ascension. You've completed a full cycle of transformation, and we kind of just kick you off into momentum and longevity and transformation. Murchie says, I want to increase my height. Do I just walk like I'm tall and like use my mind's eye to see things from more height? I would say that energy and presence is more powerful than any physical variant of a human body. That's what I would say. Sleet says, how was your journey? Rough and tough. Yes, it was very rough and tough. Richie, my brother, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for the message, big dog. Yes, Trevor, be inspired by the vision of the future instead of the memories of the past. Anthony says the North Star has helped him tremendously. Yeah, guys. So part of like the 5-day workshop is you get this 5-4-5 manifestation software that I created. And what it is we have like a 5 North Star goals, 4 daily habits or daily rituals, and then 5 daily action items to consciously create those North Stars. And that's like a software I put together that everyone in the Ascension workshop gets. So it's pretty cool. That's how we become inspired of the future instead of the memories of the past. I'm glad, Robbie. Cliff says, do you like the book, The Power of Now? I love it. Good night, Samuel. Take care of yourself. You guys will be live streaming again Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. BST. That'll be a great one. It'll be a great one. It'll be a great one. Robbie, I'll see you there. All right, guys. I'm gonna be calling it here shortly. But for those of you that were listening, I'd seriously at least just have you consider booking a call if you want to be a part of the next Ascension workshop. I just put it in the chat. It's going to be amazing. Oh, my neck is cracked. All right, guys. Thank you so much for a great live stream. We're going to call it. It's 8 o'clock here. I'm gonna start to wind down for the evening, get to bed in the next hour or two. But nothing but love, nothing but gratitude for you guys joining me on this experience. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.